Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's November 23rd, 2016, the day before Thanksgiving. This morning, CNN is using its own news anchor, Brooke Baldwin, to contribute to the ongoing race war that the media has been promoting for years now, and which is coming to a quickening pace with each passing day. This morning what happened was they were having a conversation right here, just as you see it, two guests and the host, Brooke Baldwin, right in the middle. They were having a conversation about Donald Trump's appointment so far. And this man over here, the man who you can see on the screen that is white, he is speaking to the fact that Donald Trump has appointed racists. He brings up the fact that Jeff Sessions, who he has said will be his attorney general, Jeff Sessions in the 1980s was denied a position as a judge because he was identified as a racist for routinely saying the word nigger. This man made that point. He used the word nigger to make the point, and Brooke Baldwin right away went into, oh, how awful to use this word. Then it passed. Then at the end of the segment, she went on the big spiel about the N-word, which was about 5 minutes after the fact. But anyway, this is what the media does. This is how the media programs people. This man is making a valid point. He's talking about how Donald Trump has appointed this man that has a history of being racist in light of some other things that stand out. I mean, we're talking about Donald Trump, who in the last year saw a black man was getting beaten in his very white crowd, and he said out to the crowd that the man deserved it. I mean, how do you think so many people are going to interpret that? So anyway, you have this man calling it out. And then on the other side of the screen, you have a black man who is defending Donald Trump and defending Jeff Sessions and saying that Donald Trump's great, Jeff Sessions is great, none of this matters. He's making it seem like it's not even true. And he's saying Donald Trump's going to do great things for the black community. We're going to talk about this man's name that he was given to play this role in this episode. The emphasis here is the word nigger. This guy's name in gematria equals nigger, and that is no coincidence. Again, if you are new to my channel, I show how the mainstream media makes news every day for the sake of agenda, to add on to already going agendas, and they contrive it each day by the numbers. You know, we'll watch this clip, we'll decode it. Here's a longer version than what CNN has up. CNN just has it right when she goes into her thing. I just want you to see the transition, how she goes into her thing, how this thing finishes in the final minute. I'll link this full 8-minute clip. You can go back and listen to the whole thing, how he brings up the racist, being denied the judge. He's making a point. And what does she do? She ignores the point of his argument and then focuses on the emotional element. Oh, how could you use the N-word on my show? Meanwhile, this is the same woman that every day goes before people and perpetuates lies and racial stereotypes, such as yesterday, gladly telling people about the lies out of Chattanooga, Tennessee with the made-up fictional bus crash, which was made to stereotype black men, giving the young black man with the bloodshot red eyes, making it seem like he's crazy. You know, decades ago, not even decades ago, it depends on what channels you watch. There's just so much racism out there, I don't even need to elaborate. All of this stuff every day just picks up on what's been programmed for decades in this society. Let's watch how this closes out. You know, instead of having a logical conversation addressing the fact that a man who used to call black people nigger is about to be the attorney general, instead we're focused on how awful it is that he used the N-word to explain this reality. This is what programming is. This is what the American people are. As someone who's been speaking truth and facts and trying to wake people up to the lies and agenda we live under since September 11, 2001, I've seen how many people are this way. They don't focus on the point of the message. They find something, some emotional thing, and then they go off on that. How could my government ever sell me out? I could never believe that. How could you use the N-word? You know what else this woman ends it with? She ends it with, and I've never heard of that. I never heard that before. Do you know how many people in this world I've told about Building 7, the third building to fall on 9/11, and what was wrong with that building collapsing as it did? Almost everyone in the history of my life who I've told that to when trying to wake people up about 9/11, almost every single person has said, I never heard of that. That's how the American people dismiss everything. They ignore the point. They get on some emotional thing. They get all angry. Sometimes their eyes glaze over. And then they say, I never heard of that anyway. America. This is how it's done, though. The TV, the chemicals in the food, the fluoride in the water. It isn't amazing how the American people always scoff at fluoride in the water? On the back of your fucking toothpaste bottle, it says fluoride is dangerous if swallowed, call poison control. But you think it's okay for you to drink it in your water? Just like people want to be tormented and treated like shit and never think about it. And just always go for what's easy. The N-word! How about let's focus on the point he's making, which actually matters. You know, for the majority of America, it won't matter. What matters is that he used the N-word. That's where America's at. And we'll talk about that phrase, N-word, in just a moment.
You know, confirmation.
Sure. And Brooke, I think the easiest thing to do is for people to talk about race and point or use the race card to try to divide this country. I think Senator Sessions is an honorable man. I think that.
I mean, can you imagine if you were a sensible person aware of what's going on TV and getting a chance to talk about what's going on with race in America and the media? I'd be calling out how in the last year and a half now they've made all the headlines about black and white. We haven't seen this since the 80s. I mean, it's happened in the past. Anyway, let me just listen to this guy. And notice his name, Paris Denard. Guarantee you that's a made-up name for this spot on TV. Like I said, it sums to the same thing as nigger, which we'll get to.
That he's doing a great job, and I know that this particular HBCUs, he's been a strong proponent of them. Many of them come from the South, and I know he represents them. And so I believe that he's going to be someone who's going to be confirmed. And we can go back and look at everyone's history. I'm sure the person sitting next to me on this program has said some things that he would regret. But we have to look forward.
I think it's shameful that any African-American would support this man to be Attorney General.
Sir, you don't know why. You know what? I don't question your...
And real quick, I want to make a point here. Even though this guy earlier brings up the valid points about Jeff Sessions, he's just as much an actor. This is an all set up scene. It's meant to do exactly what it does. I mean, just think about how awkward this is. I mean, a white man calling out a black man for defending a white man that calls black people nigger. I mean, look at this smiling guy over here. Oh, I think he's going to represent the South great, and Jeff Sessions is just so great. I love Donald Trump. You know, it doesn't make any sense to be... If you're still supporting Donald Trump as of today, you must be completely ignorant and blind. I mean, Donald Trump, everything that he just campaigned on, it's already all out the door. All of it. He's already gone against every single thing he said. He talked about how awful Hillary Clinton was because of her poor judgment in the Iraq War, and then he goes out and gets Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions, one of the biggest Iraq War hardliners. I mean, come on, wake up, people. Your TV is just selling you out, programming you with bullshit, nonstop. My next video will be on why Donald Trump backtracked on what he's been saying for years about climate change yesterday. There's a specific reason it happened on 11/22. Meant to make that video yesterday. I'll make it after this. Here we go.
Your allegiance to the people that you support. I will tell you why I support Mr. Trump, who's the president-elect, because I think he's going to do good things for this country, and particularly good things for my community.
How do you feel when...
All right, gentlemen.
And just real quick, don't you just hate listening to the people in the media? It's just like listening to Donald Trump. It's going to be great. We're going to do good. There's never anything behind the words. What the fuck is Donald Trump going to do for black people? This guy's been a rich billionaire his whole life, meaning he has enough money to go and just like fix up a whole hood, fix up a whole community, bring some fucking jobs there. Do you know what it's like in most communities that are black? There's nothing there. There's like an Asian restaurant where nobody speaks English. There's like an Asian tire shop. You know, there's usually poor Asians that fit into these communities. There might be a coffee shop somewhere. There's usually not shit there. If a billionaire like Donald Trump gave a fuck about black people and poor people, he'd be investing and bringing jobs to poor communities. I mean, people are so blind.
We're done. I appreciate both your voices. I am still, the more I've sat here and listened to the fact that somebody used the N-word on this show.
This is the woman that every day sells the lies about black people, and a slim black man's out there that just killed some fictional cop, and now here's this drugged up slim black man driving like a crackhead on a bus. Yeah, I sell these lies every day, but I'm just so disgusted about this man using the N-word in regards to bringing up the point that the man who's about to be Attorney General used to call black people nigger. I'm just so disgusted. This is the face of racism. This is the face of tyranny. The Truth Seeker Network revolution, when we're organized, we need to shut down these media networks once and for all. They are what program the masses. If these brain-dead masses that we all lived around didn't have their TV telling them what to think every second, they might also wake up. TV needs to go. All it is bullshit, lies, fear, nonsense. Training people to be morons. Back to your regularly scheduled programming, morons.
It is not okay.
It is not okay.
It is not okay, Charles Kaiser. I respect you. I enjoy having...
And did you see the way she said his name, Charles? If you watch this whole clip, she says his name like that the whole time. Charles? It sounds like trolls. Trolls? Like you're being trolled? I don't think it's any connection or a coincidence. Unless that's just her accent. I've never heard anyone say Charles. She says it the whole time like that. Charles? What the fuck? His name's Charles. I've never heard anybody say trolls. She does it the whole fucking thing. It's because it's all a skit. It's all subliminals. It's all meant to fuck with you. You are being trolled.
You wanted to gasp.
And if you don't think that's true, my own goddamn local news up here in Seattle, CBS, the All-Seeing Eye Network, maybe more than a year ago now, it's somewhere on my blog, they did a show on how Facebook employs an office of 20-some-year-olds to go out and troll people on news-related stuff. And, you know, the same type of people will come and troll these videos. This is all part of a federal government operation. You know, this is massive. They control your government. They control your media. They control Facebook. Look at all Facebook and Google startup monies from the CIA. It's all about controlling information, programming people, seeing what people are looking at, what's effective. Trolling's effective. Trolling gets to a lot of people. You know, I got to deal with 1 million troll comments a day. Trolls? His name's Charles.
But, not okay. By the way,
Not okay.
The claim that Mr. Bannon used the N-word, I've never heard of this. So
at this point, he's already distinguished. He didn't mean that. He meant Sessions. Earlier, he says that it was Bannon, but then he fixes it and he said, I meant Jeff Sessions, which I understand. You know, when you're speaking off the cuff, it's easy to missay. He already corrected it. So at the end, she wants to correct it. Watch the last words she uses. Watch how she closes this out.
there's that. Take a break.
Or she already said it. She said, I never heard of that. I never heard that before. It's America's favorite phrase when they're confronted with the truth, right after tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. And something I've been educating about since Donald Trump, you know, the stem of this story is Donald Trump. Something I've been educating about since the moment Donald Trump got on the stump. Mr. Trump, during the time of House of Cards, the Trump card. Anyway, as I've been explaining, his whole running for office and now being said to be the president, this whole thing is about poisoning and programming and bringing up the divisions. Watch the video I made from February 2016 about why Donald Trump makes the most sense as the next president. The lights in my garage literally turn on their own. You know, whatever you believe in, God, the world, universe, whatever. It was definitely trying to communicate with me. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Donald Trump is going to be the next president, and it is going to be all about divide and conquer and bringing up racial division and religious division and every other division that exists. All people know about Donald Trump is he wants to build a wall, divide, you know, announced as the president on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. No coincidence, all part of the mocking in the script. We're living out a puppet show. Donald Trump's an actor just like Brooke Baldwin and those two stooges they just put on. Hold on, I haven't even decoded the story, Truth Seeker. Just get so annoyed watching all this bullshit. I also got to tell you why Nikki Haley, who's 44 years old, notice how Donald Trump's appointing everybody that has a 44 connection. Nikki Haley, who he called I forget what he called her. Called her something nasty. Not even that long ago. Now he's going to have her be his ambassador to the United Nations. Okay, so anyway, she said, don't use the N-word. You know, every day this woman perpetuates racism, hate, division, fear, lies, everything wrong with the world. But she's going to take a stand on the N-word when it's used in an informative manner. God forbid anybody know what's really going on in the world. N-word in gematria sums to 74. Of course, we know what N-word represents, and I have a million videos on why the word nigger is what it is in gematria. Equals 42, like February, like Black History Month, like the slang term brothers, like the derogatory term boy, like the number for the Freemasons who believe in divide and conquer, which we'll talk more about in regards to CNN's studio where Brooke Baldwin's coming from. 74 is one of these super important numbers to Freemasonry. Who runs your media? Who runs your government? Who runs your money? Freemasonry, Zionist Jews, Jesuits. So check this out. Brooke Baldwin, the host of this, the BB initials. The Freemasons, when they make up their actor agent names, they love to give 2 letters to start the first and last name, or the same letter. Brooke Baldwin, 59. This is a number stamped all over black people throughout history. Motown Records came out in 59. They say AIDS was discovered in the Belgian Congo in the year 59. Belgian Congo equals 59, just like Brooke Baldwin. Blues equals 59, slave 59, Negro 59. Same gang all throughout history running the show. From news to government to media and entertainment. That's why Motown came out in 59. Today's date, it's a date with 43 numerology. The Civil War began in South Carolina, where Nikki Haley's from, who was appointed today. We'll talk about that too. The Civil War began in Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston equals 43, just like Civil War equals 43. Just like Lincoln was born on the 43rd day of the year, February 12th. We're talking about racial division, Civil War. Think about it. Applies to more than the United States. When you write out 43, it also sums to 59. The Civil War had a lot to do with slavery, slave 59, Negro 59, blues 59, tobacco's 59, crackers 59. When you write out 43, the Civil War number, it sums to 59. The Civil War in history began April 12th, 1861. That's the 102nd day of the year. Slavery equals 102. So does United States of America. And in case you haven't noticed, we're all slaves. We're born into, a system of lies and deception. You have to work in this system. You have to make money, follow the rules, or there's consequences, such as prison. This is a system you were born into. Had you been born on this continent 500 years ago, well, in the right place, let's say 600, 700 years ago, born into a native tribe, there'd be no such thing as money. There'd be no such thing as the automobile and getting in the car and being in traffic all day, going to your bullshit job, coming home all stressed out. You'd live in a community. You'd know your people. Life would be about, raising the food, making sure you got shelter, safety. What do we do in this world? In this world, we're all on a conveyor belt, generating money all the time. Where's all this money going? Up to people like Donald Trump. Amazing how many poor fools thought that the rich billionaire who doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself was going to be their savior in the Oval Office. Amazing. A man who ran on all ego. Anyway, back to Civil War and this coding and why this story today. Lincoln was also killed at the end of the war on a date with 102 numerology, supposedly by an actor in a theater. The news is, all throughout history, you've been sold out by actors making up bullshit to steer you. To make you think you know what's going on where you live. Make you go along with the lies. Next thing you know, you're telling your kids to go sign up for the military and go fight in some war that's just for a bunch of assholes. That's what's been going on the whole time. Also, just a little reminder about Honest Abe. Abraham equals 44 like kill. He was shot on 14/4 April 14th. Died the next day, April 15th. Numbers having to do with killing all throughout history. Donald Trump's going to be the 45th president, but the 44th man to be president. Obama's number 44, but the 43rd man to be president, with all the parallels to Lincoln. Obama was elected November 4th, 2008, a date with 43 numerology. Gave his acceptance speech in Grant Park, which equals 43 in gematria, in the land of Lincoln, born on the 43rd day of the year. So the guests were Charles Kaiser and the other man, who I already talked about his name. Charles Kaiser, who was kind of like the source of the story, using the word and explaining what Jeff Sessions is about. His initials CK stand out right away. C's the third letter, K's the 11th. Mainstream equals 113, dishonest 113, green screen 113. You know? Numbers that they quote again and again in their propaganda. In Jewish gematria, the beast equals 311. 311. And that's what the television is. I mean, just look. I mean, what has your fellow man so possessed under a spell of nonsense and living for all the wrong things and living about materialism and shunning truth? Being all emotional instead of thoughtful. It's the TV. This guy's name, Charles Kaiser in gematria, it has all the numbers you see on the screen. This is a typo. It should say 129. America in Jewish gematria equals 129. United States of America equals 84. Order out of chaos equals 84. Divide and conquer 84. 75. New World Order. 66, the number for freedom, empire. In a way, this comes back to freedom of speech. You know? Anyone who thinks that it's wrong that this guy used the word nigger to explain what is going on, I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I think you're soft. I think you're emotional. I think you get caught up with words. Pay attention to, again, why he said the word. He said it to make the point about who's going to be the Attorney General of this country. Isn't it more relevant to think about, is there a man with racial hatred in one of the most important offices in the land? You know, isn't that the more important thing? The thing that Brooke Baldwin immediately took it away from when it happened? And again, I'll link the whole clip so you can watch it. It happens at about 2.5, 3 minute mark of the clip. The clip was 8.5 minutes. 5 minutes later, she goes on her rant about the word again. Never brings it back to the point. Scottish Rite in gematria also sums to 57 like his name. A lot of the presidents were first inaugurated at age 57, including George Washington, time of the Revolutionary War when the only people who had rights were white landowners. You know, time of slavery. I've been showing all the parallels between Donald Trump and George Washington on the campaign trail, riddled into the propaganda news. And this is exactly what the man said after she called him out. I never use the N-word except when I'm quoting someone who's been appointed by the president to serve the Oval Office, he said. That should be the focus of the news story. We know why it's not. So now, let's remind, CNN, they broadcast from the 33rd parallel, that number of Freemason obsession. The Freemasons believe in order out of chaos, divide and conquer. Also the 84th meridian. Ted Turner, his birth name's Robert, is the founder of CNN. If you've never seen what Robert Turner said the day CNN launched, what he said on live TV, go look that up. That'll blow your mind. Anyway, 33, Masonry, secrecy, Robert Turner. His name's Robert Turner III. The word name itself has gematria 33. Again, Freemasons, they invented our language, our calendar. They built this world around us using the ancient esoteric knowledge. 33, very significant to this game. Atlanta, abbreviated ATL, ATL 33. Atlanta named after the lost city Atlantis, Atlantis 33. Ted Turner is born on a date with 33 numerology. By the way, his nickname Ted Turner sums to 44. Georgia's the fourth state, one of two with 44 gematria. Georgia equals 44. Remember Jimmy Carter from the fourth state, Georgia, with the 444-day Iranian hostage crisis? Made for TV propaganda. Divide and conquer. CNN is syndicated by Comcast nationwide as Channel 44 too. It's the kill number. CNN killing people with the propaganda. Race war sums to 33 in gematria. CNN has been the leader in the media in perpetrating the race war. You know, being there at Ferguson for the made-for-TV, riot, and elsewhere where they've done similar things. Charlotte, CNN always right there, the first with the coverage. It's because CNN's your CIA. It's your government. So is the rest of the media, but CNN is just must be the most controlled. Fox News, again, they're just the Republican Party. Amazing how anybody watches that station. Anyway, look at this guy here. Paris Denard. Paris Denard in gematria sums to the same thing as the most hateful word for black people, which the whole episode's about. The name Denard sums to 33 like race war. He's telling people that Donald Trump's going to be great for the black community and that Jeff Sessions is A-OK. How much are you getting paid, man? And what's your real name? This guy is a sellout to humanity, and so is everyone else on the TV. That's who you get in the media. Sellouts. As for the 84th meridian, again, United States of America 84, divide and conquer 84, states 84, Jesuit 84, the Masonic order within the Catholic Church, all part of the same gang. CNN on the 84th meridian. That emphasized phrase at the very top of the screen, don't use the N-word on my show. I just wanted to see where they were going with that, and here's my take on that. It sums to 337, which is the 68th prime number. Barack Obama, 68. Donald John Trump, 68. 1968 was the year of some major political assassinations. MLK, RFK, both killed by the numbers. But Robert Kennedy equals 66. Sirhan equals 66. All four of the names, Sirhan 33, Robert 33, Kennedy 33. Anyway, Robert Kennedy dead June 6th at 1:44 in the morning. We talked about 144. His brother dead on the first day of Sagittarius, 144. JFK was the 44th term president. Anyway, 68, fateful year of assassinations. Also the year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code, year World Trade Center construction began, the year George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. I mean, just in addition, look at the things that were on the screen while they were talking about this. White supremacist, Nazi salute. This stuff's been going on the entire time they've been running Trump. Trump's just the stooge actor to go along with it and say dumb enough things to make it unclear where he stands. But all of this is being done on purpose because the aim is the American people, which is where the sights are of the television propaganda weapon, on the minds of the masses, which they control overwhelmingly, with programming by the numbers. You know, I just hate watching it and being away because I just know this is how, I think I meant to say the word aware, being awake to it. I hate witnessing it because it just reminds me of my entire life ever since September 11th. Speaking to people, watching them miss the point, getting caught up on some emotional thing that they're stuck on, like how much they love their government. They just don't see how their government could ever sell them out. You know, ignoring truth, not confronting the truth, falling for the emotional element. It's America. And America watches the TV and they think Brooke Baldwin's right and good for her for, this is why I'm so frustrated because I know that this is what's happening for most people. And they're watching, they think, oh, good for her for standing up for that. Yeah, he shouldn't have used that word. Nobody's even paying attention to what matters, ever. Distraction always comes along and just steals the minds of the masses. Got to do a video on Pizzagate, another distraction. Pedophilia's real. Pedophilia rings are real. Pizzagate, it's not real. It's just to mock you. It's just to distract you for a moment. So you're not seeing what's going on. The mockery right in front of your face. Donald Trump, the president. Media promoting a race war every day. Stirring everyone up. All right, I think I'm just repeating myself. Until next time, true.